Hey, you guys. Welcome to another episode of Think and Grow with Vet Brain. Today, I am so honored to have with me entrepreneur, owner of A Salon Bizz. I'm so happy to bring this story to you guys because I believe that everyone has a story, and if you can be inspired by someone, then that is my goal. Miss Audra Burrell was a teenage mom at age 19. She found herself pregnant. She went on to become a hairstylist and become a owner of, again, A Salon Bizz. Thank you so much, Audra, for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. And I just want to lead with a prayer because I believe that when God is involved, everything could happen. So
Absolutely.
thank you, God, for bringing us here today. I am so honored to have Miss Audra Burrell in my presence. I believe that you placed her in my path for a reason, and I am learning so much. And I just want to give you honor today for always showing up. I just want to give you honor today for allowing us to become exactly who you placed us on this earth to be. Come through, God. Come through with what you know is something that someone needs today. Just continue to come through and show up in our lives as I know only you can. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Amen. So, Miss Audra Burrell,
Yes.
pregnant at age 19.
Yeah.
And you knew even then that you wanted to be something more than what you saw in life.
Absolutely.
You knew that.
Every day you have these expectations of yourself, and that's what dreams are made of, right? So as a young girl, being a mom, I saw a lot of girls that I went to school with early on, and even in my family. Everybody was pregnant at 17, 16. And so I never thought I would, but it happened, I didn't have that no conversation of you shouldn't have children at a certain age, but it happened, and I moved on from that. Had a wonderful son named Ryan, and here I am 55 years later.
Wow. But
So,
God.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
God.
Yeah.
And you're growing up, you were not raised by your mom.
No, my grandmother raised me, from what I was told, because I was such a premature baby, weighing in at 1 pound, 1.5 ounces. The nurturing, I'm assuming, of my grandmother possessed my mom to kind of just leave me with her. And she was young, 16, and you can't care for a child when you're only a child yourself.
That's right.
So my grandmother took me and raised me until I was 29. Yeah.
She made an impact in your life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you knew when you had Ryan that you wanted him to have a different life.
Yeah, with my grandmother being in the picture still, she helped me provide and raise. And you know how sometimes they say you need that village?
Mm-hmm.
You do. You need a village to help you. As long as I was in school and doing something positive, she was willing to assist me in any way she could.
That support is needed.
Absolutely.
When we have that support, we can aspire and truly manifest what it is that God placed us on this earth to be.
Yeah.
Thank God for your grandmother.
Amen.
So tell me about growing up in Maywood, Illinois. It's a town right outside of Chicago.
Yeah, small town. Great grandparents came here, migrated from the South, like most people do. From Maywood, they migrated from the South. Grandparents, both grandparents, they actually obtained their house through some other relatives. So it's crazy because the house is still with us today.
The house we're staying in. Thankfully, look at God. Look at God.
So grandparents, great grandparents, wonderful family. My grandparents were married for some years and separated. So my grandmother did remarry, and I had a wonderful grandfather by the name of Eddie Daniels, who provided for us in so many ways that a little girl had no reason not to love. So yeah, he was very generous, but at the same time, very disciplinarian. you know. But Maywood is where I've been for all my life. I do live in another area of what we call the woods, but still community, still surrounding family. Pretty much my whole family lives in the area still. We're all like 5 minutes, 10 minutes away from each other, which makes it even better. So the community itself, it's small, but you know pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
You go to church together, you go to school together, you know, you hang out together. So the community in itself is a wonderful place to have grown up in. Yeah.
You saw the changes in the community when the drugs came in, but you didn't fall prey to that.
Oh no.
And at a young age, at 19 years old, it's so easy to be impressionable and fall prey to the going-ons of the community. I saw the small community that I grew up in turn into something that was very economically challenged. And sometimes when you don't see great things happening around you, you decide that and you think that you can't obtain prosperity, but you are told you change that stereotype with deciding to take this not only a career, you made this into a business. So tell me about your journey from having Ryan at age 19 to falling in love with hair.
Okay, well, originally in high school, let me just start there. In high school, we had a program called DECA. And what it did was give kind of a glimpse of what the outside world was going to look like financially for most of us students that went there. You had OEA, you had a lot of programs that provides OEAs, and I hope they still have them, I don't know. But the program allowed us to have a job, to interview, to see where our skill set lied. And so for me, I worked at a cleaners. My first job was a cleaners, LaSalle Cleaners, I'll never forget. And the owner was a Jewish lady, and she said, come in the office one day. And I said, okay. So I'm not gonna run the desk, you know, the cashier, you know, or nothing like that. She says, no, I want you to come back in the office. And I said, okay. So every day she would take me back there, and I was her accountant.
Wow.
And I learned how to keep ledgers, and you know, back then we didn't have no computers.
It was all paper.
Everything was paper and calculator. I could do a calculator with my hands. And so I started there, and that took me to learn how to pretty much save money, because I was showing her what her books were for her, you know.
Yeah.
And from there, it's almost like I learned so much of running a business within the business. And I hadn't even had an idea or inkling of that until one day, as Ryan decided to go away to college, I would say. I think it was his last year in school. And he said, Mom, you need to open up your own salon. You need to become an entrepreneur. And at this point, I'm working at home, from home, I should say. Decided to buy a home at an early age because apartments was just way too expensive for a young lady and a child. So my grandmother would always say, you know, if you work, I'll match your down payment. So that gave me some incentive right there, right?
It did.
And so from there, I said, okay, if I get this home, then I'll have somewhere to, you know, do hair at maybe. You know, wasn't thinking, you know, I was just thinking out loud. But it helped me learn how to own and operate first at home and then expand. So I saved up enough capital to go into my own business. And 25 years later,
wow,
I'm still standing, actually. A Salon Bizz just kind of came out of nowhere. For me, I ain't gonna say nowhere. I guess I thought about it a long time. I had a couple of names, it's crazy, but A Salon Bizz stuck out So I use my first name, the letter in my first name, which is Audra, and then it's a salon, and then it's a business. So I combine those three, and that's how A Salon Bizz was born, actually.
That was your baby.
But
your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter. I like that.
That's your daughter.
I like that. Yeah.
And I am amazed that even though people around you may not, or the community that you were growing up with and may not have told you that you were great, there were people that God, I'll say, was placing in your path that set you up for your greatness.
Yeah.
From the young the Jewish lady to even going into doing
the program.
Yeah, the program.
High school.
And your grandmother.
Yeah, I think all of that definitely had an impact on me. I'm a listener, and I can't say how I learn, but for me, old people always say, listen to your elders. Pay attention. And so a lot of that transpired as I was getting older and I was becoming a woman. And so I could hear those voices as I'm moving throughout my day. And I said, well, if I do make this move, then this will happen. If I make that move, then this will happen. And so it took me a while. I'm not going to say it was easy.
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
It was a process.
It was a process. I was. And having a child, I just made sure he was okay in everything that I did, and he went everywhere I went.
He was your priority.
He was my priority. He was. And now that I have this little person, I have to make sure he's okay, So even though my mom didn't raise me, my grandmother did, I still had a sense of urgency when it came to my son. Like, he's going to be fine.
And he was.
And I'm going to make sure he is. Yeah.
That's a strong branch that you grew with Ryan, because not only were you a teenage mom at the age of 19, raising a son, single mom, your son went on to get into this business, and now he was just nominated for a Daytime Emmy for hair. How awesome is that? That is like you blossoming what God placed you on this earth to be. You can see it within your son. You cultivated and you molded him, and he was paying attention to you, and now he's working on sets. He just did Candyman. Yeah. That's a testimony to you.
I went into the movie theater. It was just me.
Did you cry?
And you know what? I didn't cry, but I said, look at God. That's what I said.
You got me ready to cry because I remember this is how I know that your branch is really strong. You rooted something in your son when he was working to get into the union and it didn't happen. He kept getting, it's not happening. And then you were still there when he moved to New York. I envy what you guys, the relationship you guys have. And when he sent that Queen picture, I said, this is how he sees you. That's a beautiful thing, because that's a testimony to your dedication to your son. What you instilled in him, he's able to make it manifest.
In so many different ways. And he's such a humble person. And I think he gets that from me. I mean, I don't like to, what they say, brag or boast or, be outside looking in, that type of person. But he sees things in a different light. And similarities we do have, but he was able to take his journey and do something totally phenomenal, you know? And I'm like, that's me. That's a little person, you know? And I said, wow, the things that he's been able to create. And I look back at stuff and I'm like, he's so good. He's so great. Like all the G's in the vocabulary. But I'm so proud of him. And he's becoming everything that he's supposed to. Everything that his heart's desire. And I see it every day when we talk in his voice. The way he smiles and the way he just light up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is it parenting? So as a single mom, you had to worry about a lot. How is it parenting an adult now?
Ooh, well, here's the thing with that. You become the child and they become the adult. So you'll get that. You'll get that.
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's like I did raise you. I thought I was the mom, but some days I'm like, whoo. As I get older, he'll say, "Mom, well, I don't want you to be that type of parent,"
Yeah.
So we talk a lot, probably almost every day.
Yeah.
And when I don't call him, he's like, "Mom, why I didn't hear from you today?" So sometimes I feel bad, but he's always on my mind.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
So how do you balance work and life? Because as an entrepreneur, your livelihood is based on your business.
Yeah.
You have to be there. So people look at a person owning a business and think it's all glamour, but there's a lot that goes on. If you don't work, you don't get paid, you don't eat.
Yeah.
COVID happened.
Yeah.
So how do you balance the work-life balance? Because sometimes you're in the salon 7 days a week. I know that.
Yeah, I can be here as many days of the week as I want to.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about being an entrepreneur. The timing is limitless. So for me, a regular day is not a 9 to 5. When you're in business for yourself, you are the business, right? So for me, if somebody calls and say, I want my hair done on Monday, that's a different schedule. So, you have to provide services sometimes when you don't want to. But, I did this lady client of mine years ago, and I can remember her telling me, she said, time is money, and money is time. And if you have the time, make the money. It's just that simple. If you show up on time or be the first person there, you'll get that walk-in, or you'll get that person that may call and say, "Do you have any openings today?" And you can say yes or no. It's up to you how much money you want to make.
That's a word from somebody. That's a word for somebody. One of you hairdressers listening, that's a word for you.
It is.
And you're driven.
And you have to be a self-starter. You cannot come into this business, hair business, and be like, "Oh, I guess I'll do one person a day, 2 people today." It's not about how much money you're going to make. The money will come. The money will come. And a lot of people don't realize that. But you got to show up. You got to show up.
And then you're showing up for you.
Yeah. You're being held accountable. It's your business.
It's your child.
It's
you
your
got to
child.
raise it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have raised your child.
Absolutely.
That feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, he came into the business. Most kids who come or go to beauty school don't have a clientele. And I can say this, I had such a large clientele that he was just able to transition right on in. Ryan's doing hair, so everybody couldn't wait. So my chair got a little less less clients in it, but the money stayed within the family, right?
Yeah.
So I was just so happy when he decided to come into the fold, right?
Talk about that, because you did not even know that he was interested in hair. And your son, your branch went on to be nominated for a freaking daytime Emmy for hair. And this is something that you didn't even realize. This is oh my God, how awesome is that?
I sent Ryan to school to be an anesthesiologist.
Ooh.
I did. Well, the start of it, I should say, because he got 3 years of college in, right? And so one day he called. He was pledging. I don't even know if I should say Kappa. So he was pledging, and they pledged him for so long, he was just exhausted, right? So he had to come home, and I think he needed surgery, maybe tonsils or adenoids or something taken out. So as he's recuperating, he's in prayer, because he wants to know what the rest of his life looks like. And so he says, "Mom, I just laid there and said, Lord, what should I be doing?" And he loves, first of all, he loves Whoopi. He loves Sister Act. But he was watching I believe that's called Hair. Well, what is the name of that movie? He's gonna kill me if I don't get it right. Barbershop, beauty shop, one of those shops.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Ooh.
And so he comes to me and he says, Mom, I think I want to go to beauty school. And I said, the devil is a lie.
Ooh, you wasn't having it.
Beauty school. I said, I am paying for college. I am on, like, I want this diploma.
Yeah,
I want
you
diploma.
want the diploma. Don't you know how hard
did all this? And so he says, okay, so I'm going to go back to school, but I need to do this. I said, okay, well, there's a couple of schools that you can go to. And I think we had about 3 different choices. So we put the choices in a hat, just like we did for college.
Oh,
and
wow.
he picked the school in the neighborhood, which is 7 minutes from our house.
Mm-hmm.
He went there, which is called Mrs. Roberts Beauty Academy.
Oh, okay.
And so he graduated and he went back to college after he left. After that whole year, because it took him a year to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went on back to college and he was sitting in an economics class. And he said, I could be making this amount of money instead of sitting in here. And so he walked out the class and never went back.
And never went back.
Never went back.
Wow. He knew who he was.
In that moment, he called me the first week of school. And he said, Mom, how does hair make you feel? I said, like a breath of fresh air.
Oh, wow.
And he said, it's so calming. I said, it is.
Creating.
Mm-hmm. And so he knew then, once he called me and got the okay, like we both feel the same way about our craft, right? And he was like, well, this is what I'll be doing. And we both laugh about it to this day because it's a for me it was therapy, you know.
I get that. Writing is like that for me.
It was therapy.
It helps you. You're creating something. We are all placed on this earth to create something. Everybody has their own type of creativity. Yours is hair. Yeah. One of the things I love about A Salon Biz when I am here and getting my hair done is this. It feels like a family. Yeah. You guys are truly teaching each other. Yeah. You'll bounce ideas off of each other, which is amazing to me because I've never seen that before. The first time that I sat down in your chair, I think it was Tanya. You guys were dyeing my hair, and you guys were bouncing. It was family. It was like, we want everyone to win, and we want this customer to walk out feeling good. And if it takes all of us to do that, that's going to happen. I don't see that a lot. That's like superior customer service. Yeah. How did you get there?
Always, as a hairstylist, first of all, you have to have some creativity when you hire people, you know. So that comes with seeing what that person can do. I interview everybody. I make them come in, I make them bring a client or 2, and I need to see if their similarities are like mine. And so that's how I can judge. I'm a pretty good character judge. I'm a Libra, so it's like marrying, you know. Yeah. And if you can't have the same people working with you or for you, in other words, because most of the people that I hire, they're either subcontractors, you know, or they're independent contractors. So for me, I can just see it in their craft when they're moving around and moving about, and sometimes in the way they talk, you know, and sometimes you just attract people. You do. Like you. You do. And so that's what I find with the staff that I have.
I love it because I don't feel that anyone, I've gone in salons and it's like the salon people are stabbing each other in the back. I've gone and I don't like that at all. Wow. And I've also gone in salons where I'm there 10 hours because but here at A Salon Biz, it's not like that. You get in the chair, whoever your salon specialist is, going right to you. They're
Mm-hmm.
taking care of you and making sure that you know what's going on. So I salute you for that. Because that's taking business to a different level.
Yeah, I don't like people to be in a salon that long unless they're getting multiple services.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for you to come here and hang out.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Unless you're getting 5 services and you're going to be here all day.
Talk about the services that you offer here, because when you guys dyed my hair blonde, when you dyed that was, whew, and then COVID happened.
And then COVID happened. I know. What happened? It just happened to everybody. And we're all stuck in this cocoon, it seems like. But, once Ryan came into the fold, we transitioned a lot of our clients from relaxed hair to natural hair. And so that put our salon on a whole nother plateau, because now we have Carol's daughter, Miss Jessie's. And even since then, you got so many natural hair care products on the line, right? Mm-hmm. And once we transition to natural hair, now you have more clients that are coming in wanting services like that. Mm-hmm. So when you're natural, you can have the best of both worlds. You can do natural style. You can blow dry and flat iron it and make it as straight as you want to, right? So once I opened up those doors, you have a lot of people wanting extensions, and you have a lot of people wanting crochets. Those just became phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And I remember one time when Ryan first came back, we had a natural hair event. And we were using products kind of like Miss Jessie's and Carol's daughter. Those are our go-to products. Mm-hmm. And they worked so well. That was like the best transitioning that we did once we started doing natural hair. Yeah. It did help.
Do you find people coming in wanting a lot of the natural hairstyles? And I saw you guys, and a couple of my kids have come in and got twisted and stuff like that. Yeah. How does it feel seeing the transition happen? Because in the 90s it was like perms and weave, and now it's like we're embracing our hair.
We're embracing our culture. Because we, as a culture, even if you look back at African pictures, our hair has always been our, what they call it, crown and glory. Yeah. Right? And so to add hair the way that we do, and we can change overnight and be a whole different person. In less than an hour or 2 or 3.
For real. And look good.
Yeah. So I think us as a culture, we like change, and so we see ourselves different every day. I'll say this. I like the transformations, but sometimes they can get a little bit overboard.
Yeah, with the braids, waves, a ponytail.
Yeah, like, can you just stick with something?
I've seen
you stick with something, but we as a people, we like change. So but you just got to know what to do, when to do it, and when not to do it. Yeah, that's important when you're doing hair.
How do you deal with irate or customers that come in and they have attitudes?
You know what? I don't have that.
Oh, good.
I don't have a lot of that. Now, I'm not gonna say I've never had it.
Yeah.
But I think God just sends me people that He chooses to. Yeah. And He's protecting me in that way. That's the way I feel. Yeah. A lot of my clients are referrals. A lot of my clients are, I would say, like me. I specifically asked for a certain clientele, and that's what God gave me.
I want to talk about you building your clientele, because this is not one of those salons where you see people hanging around, dinner is open. You don't see that. You don't see the music. The ambiance is nice, and you wanted a particular clientele, not the clientele that I don't want to say. How shall I put this? You wanted clientele that were working and could afford your services, because time is money, and each of your services cost. Dye costs, if you want braids, all of that costs, and this is your time, and you knew that you were valuable, and you can't come in here and just get a $20 hairstyle. That's not even the services that you offer. You knew your value. How did you decide that you wanted to have how did you work towards getting that particular clientele where they can afford each of your services? If it's $70 to get a dye job or $100, they can afford that. Because a lot of people don't realize that they're in the house doing hair and they should be getting a lot more. How did you transition to that?
So here's the crazy thing about that. I never visited a salon in my life. I've always got my hair done in the kitchen. So I never knew the dynamics of being in a salon at all. My salon was the first traditionally salon that I went into. Now I'll say this, I did work in a salon braiding hair, probably for maybe a week or two. I don't even know if I was in there that long, but I saw that I didn't want to have that type of experience. I saw that when I became a salon owner, I wanted to have like-minded people. I came from corporate. I came from corporate. I worked a job prior to going to beauty school, but I wanted professional women. I wanted women who I could trust, who cared about their hair, who were what we would call professional CEOs, presidents. Well, president and CEO is kind of one and the same.
President of McDonald's, right?
That's I wanted those women who were, if you want to say, a little bit higher on the
affluent. Women that were like-minded women that were working towards their goal. They weren't, and not to say that there's anything wrong with.
No, it's not. It's not.
But you gotta want more, and you wanted that in your salon.
Yes, I wanted the woman that I knew was gonna be there every week or every 2 weeks. I wanted the woman that was not what you would say necessarily into hair, but wanted her hair to look a certain way, and so a professional would have to do that for her. So those women came to me. I worked at this salon in Oak Park on Lake Street, and it was called AJ's. I had a doctor's appointment in that building, and I was coming off the elevator, and I said, there's a salon over there in that corner. It was Black owned, a Black male.
Oh, wow.
And I worked with AJ for, I want to say, 4 years. I started off with not a client at all, but I was a braider. And so he had some natural hair clients that wanted to try some extensions. And so I was able to do that. And in those 4 years, I saw women who were professional, who came in on time for their appointments, who paid for their services and had no problems paying for their services. There was a desk with a cash register and a receptionist. And I knew then that this was the place for me. We're not exchanging money. The money is on the register, at the register with a receipt. That's how you pay for, if you go to the mall, you're gonna pay at the register. If you go anywhere for your food, they're coming in with a bill. So your business should have that same amount of respect. And so that's what that looked like for me going forward. And so when those women would come through the door, it was like, that was my aha moment. She's the woman
that's your
that
client.
I want. She's the woman that I want.
I know a lot of women who are, they can do hair and they're doing it out their homes like so many start. And one of the challenges is that their clientele, some of their clients, they'll sit in a chair and then get up and be like, can I pay you on Thursday? But that's not how you
It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. When you know better, you do better. And if you, first of all, money should never be exchanged on those bases. If you're going to be professional, be professional. And I'm not saying you can't be in the basement. I started off in the basement. I actually had to transition to the basement. And I ended up staying in my basement for 8 years. But what I'm saying
that's a word for somebody.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you have to come out of the basement because there's so much more opportunities outside. And that's what kind of happened to me. Once my son said, "Ma, it's time for you to come out of the basement," I said, "Yeah, you're right. Who's going to see you down there?" You know, and that's what he would say. Who gonna see you down there? But well, I still had a ton of clients, but you cannot uplift yourself with a small number of people because God has a whole nother plan. And if you keep that small community within you're never going to expand.
Yeah.
He didn't say, there's like multitudes of fish. He didn't say, I don't know how many people.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing.
Was it scary?
It wasn't. It was rewarding. It was rewarding. And so I didn't realize, I knew I was making money, but I didn't know how much money I could make. And that was the difference.
And then you started driving that truck. I love seeing Black women doing great things and Black women who, you are an entrepreneur, and during COVID it was hard. Yeah. How did you deal with COVID? Because I saw you didn't. I can feel the energy. It was like, I cannot sit down and just let this be. I got to do something. Yeah, the nails.
I was outside in the yard. Now I'm in the backyard because you can't go too far. You know, outside was the safe place. Right?
Yeah.
During COVID, I got on social media immediately, and I'm not a salesman by any means necessary, but I know my business. So immediately I said, I need some hair care packages, right? And so I started getting on social media, and I think it just seems like the whole universe heard me say that. And then everybody around me started doing it. You know, other people, other companies. I mean, it's just something that I said, and it just resonated so quick. So my clients, trust me, they hear every week. Most of my clients don't even know how to wash their hair. Yeah. They don't. I mean, I can't. And so they were like, "Oh my God, we got to wash our hair." So I said, "Yeah, you can come get these hair care packages. They're costly. And you too could have your hair done at home."
And then you were also doing, I saw you a few times doing tutorials on what to do.
How to wrap, how to mold. Oh God, it was fun. Yeah. It was fun doing that. I'm not good on social media, but it gave me a like you said, another outlet to kind of, hone in on those people who heard about me, want to know about me, or, just were interested. Yeah. So yeah, products were the first thing I thought about. Let's get these products because I don't want nobody going to Jewel's, Walmart, Kmart, beauty supply store picking up nothing that's not gonna work for me, for my clients. Yeah. Yeah. We have special products, so.
And you love hair. You love hair. And you hair care is real for you. Yeah. You do consultations.
Oh, that's the first thing.
Consultation.
Yeah. First and foremost. A consultation tells a person everything about their hair, what they should and shouldn't do, what they expect. That's the first thing you should have. For me, I had a young lady come in Saturday, actually, and she was from Tennessee, and she Googled, of course. Thank God I'm at the front of the Google. And she Googled, and she came in, and she had a ponytail but her hair was probably like this long,
Mm.
and it was coming out, and so I set her in my chair. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. Sit you in my chair. Let's sit down. Let's talk about this. Because I'm not gonna perm hair just because you want to perm.
Mm.
That's not the type of salon I am.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about it. We gotta get to the root of why your hair is falling out. You know, is it stress? Do you have low vitamin D levels? What is going on here? And as cosmetologists, we're doctors of the hair in a sense, you know. But I had to kind of give a analysis of why. And so I sat and I talked to her for a long time before I even did anything.
Before you did anything.
Yeah.
So you took So at A Salon Bizz, they're actually taking care of your hair.
Yeah.
So if you have some issues that if your hair is falling out, alopecia, this is the place to be.
I'm a licensed trichologist. I'm a licensed trichologist.
So you are constantly driving. You're very, very driven, and you are definitely an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What's next for you in A Salon Bizz?
You know what? I'm currently in a class for leadership. I know that sounds crazy, but being an entrepreneur, you're always thinking of what's next for me. Yeah, always. And so I've come to understand as I'm getting older that I need to, I don't know if it's a teaching mechanism for me, but I do want to explore a little bit of leadership and give back to some of the young girls that's coming into this industry.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about. I got so much in this brain of mine to share and, you know, give information. And so consulting is kind of like where I want to be. Yeah.
That's where and let your baby continue to thrive. You have people under you. Yeah. Great people. And you're open. How many days a week?
Well, you can come here 7 if you want to. But let me just say this. Those days, which are Mondays and Sundays, those are days that the salon is not supposed to be open. Most salons should be open on those days because they're for education. And it used to be something that the profession was really strict on. But now, you know, people kind of do what they want. Yeah. But we're required to have education on those days. Okay. And we're required to have so many hours of CEU hours, continuing education. But a lot of people kind of get away from that with social media now. I guess you can go and Zoom and do all those things. But those days are for education, to elevate you into learning new things at the craft. I mean, we're changing every day.
That's my next question. Hair is always changing. Styles are always changing. How do you keep up to date with these changes?
Well, you know, I'm just a creature of habit. So I'm always looking at people hair. Like, that's the first thing I see, right? And you look at social media, you look at now, I mean, years ago, we didn't have social media. We were looking at videos. We would buy videos at the hair shows, and people had that stuff already. So, you know, you kind of open up magazines and you see what people are wearing in the industry, and you kind of get an idea of what you want to do or should do. But now that you have social media, nobody should be lacking information. Nobody. It's so much easier for these people. Yeah. We didn't have it, and you should be grateful, actually. Yeah. Because now you can be more creative. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you can.
So just to wrap this up, you are an entrepreneur. This is your baby. She has to run. That's how you live. Yeah. What do you do for self-care? What do you do when it's like, you know what, it's time for the baby to go to sleep. Let mom get some time.
Yeah, some time. You know what? I usually say to myself, if you work hard, you can play hard, right? So I try to do 3 vacations a year. So every 3 months, 3, 6, 9, 4 technically. I try to do that. I exercise. I try to eat right, but not all hairstylists do. We don't have a schedule that we can eat like that.
Yeah.
But recently I've gone back to doing some routine stuff, right? So now I'm getting massages, facials, and I get my hair done now. I used to didn't get my hair done.
That's so funny. A lot of hair
do my own hair.
stuff.
Yeah. So I'm pampering myself more as I get older. I used to do it a lot though, early on, but I'm getting back to it. Yeah.
Self-care is real.
Yeah, it's very real. And we need that. Not only that, mental health is so important. We touch a lot of people in this industry that people sit in our chairs, and most times I'll say I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I'm an esthetician, I'm a lawyer, I'm a hairstylist, and I'm a consultant, and I'm a counselor. Yeah. I say that because so many women and men sit in my chair, and I do that, and they do that for me as well. So yeah. So some people always say you grow hair so well. You have those magic hands.
Growing hands.
I got growing hands. Yeah. And it's funny because sometimes when a client is in my chair, I touch their shoulders in a way, and sometimes I'll be like, "Ooh, what is that?" to myself.
Yeah.
But I just give back that energy. So that's what that is.
That's what that is.
Yeah,
I can feel it even
energy.
now.
Yeah.
That creativity is something that we all have, and it's amazing that you were able to hone into yours and make it your business. Yeah. You're doing your work that God placed you on this earth to do.
I do believe so.
You are.
I do believe so.
Well, I appreciate the interview.
Thank you.
You are amazing, and I'm so happy that God.
And I'm so happy you. Right. I was on this path.
You are amazing, and you should be very, very proud. You coming from where you come from, and having a child at a very young age. It's stereotypical that you would not make it. Yeah. The neighborhood was plagued with drugs, like so many neighborhoods, but you decided, you made the choice to overcome, excel, and elevate your life. Yes. And now you can see that play out not only in your life, but in your son's life as well.
Yeah, and it has.
Amazing. But God. That's all I can say. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All righty.